Okay, guys, we're back with crafting videos. I know it's been a while. The market was in a weird place. We had TwitchCon, then we had the competition, all sorts of other stuff. There wasn't really a lot to talk about because things were changing so quick. We've settled in now. We're kind of in late wipe, and there's a lot of crafts to go over. So we're going to do that, get it really in depth here, give you guys a good idea what to do, and hopefully this will last a little bit longer than a couple of days. So first up, I'm going to be doing this with my progress turned off, which means no level 3 intel, which affects your flea market fee, and my times are going to be long and stuff like that. You can see how drastic it is. 3 hours and 3 minutes versus, an hour and 53 minutes. Making money versus not making money, all of that stuff, it doesn't matter. So I guess I can show you guys both. But when it comes to moonshine right now, we are on the tail end. We're going to start seeing this get cheaper. Let me pull the chart up for you real quick. And Tarkov market's loading slow today. I'm not sure what it is, so I'll try to talk through the waiting. But when we get into these longer term charts, you can see that we've topped out, and we're probably going to start to tail off now with prices getting a little bit cheaper, kind of like they do every wipe. As you can see, they hit a peak and then they kind of come back down. So don't sit on your moonshine for very long. If you're crafting it, sell it pretty quick. This is with just using market prices, about 50K sugar, 165,000 super water, and selling moonshine at 275, which you can still get like 280, 285 sometimes, especially if you sell it in big stacks. But again, just be careful of that. As we go on, it's going to get harder and harder. Intel Center is a weird one because it's got a lot of requirements to build stuff, like Lightkeeper and just high levels and stuff. But you can actually make money with the violet cards if you want. It's not great. The big thing is to get your yellow cards cheap. I put 4.5 in here, and you can actually get them cheaper sometimes. So if you're getting your yellow cards pretty cheap, say 4 million, you're going to do even a lot better. This also implies you're getting your access cards for 166.5, or let's say you get them and die with them and you don't play labs. This is another good use for it. And then just market price on Intel and the SMTs. And then look for 7, 8 on the violet cards. I don't think this is going to get a lot cheaper. We've seen them pretty steady around 8 mil for probably a solid month now. They were higher. This was the Halloween event. Obviously, it made everything cheaper. I don't think we're going to see them tick back up, but I could be wrong about that. So if you're able to craft them, they are there. VPXs can make you decent money. It's just a really, really, really long craft. 10K on your RAM, 39 on your SSDs, G phones for 12, and then you just straight vendor these. This has it selling it. The fees like 8K a piece, but they sell for 96 to therapists. So if you want to make the most money, that's how you do it. I'm just cycling MFDs and intelligence because they're easy, they're quick. They don't make great money, even with my stuff turned on. Which actually I need to update this because we are actually at 49 crafting or hideout management now. Even with my skills, they don't make a ton of money, but it's something to go. It helps raise the flea market fee. Shoot for about 35K on your maps, 20K on your flash drives, and then I try to get over 120 for the flash drives, and sometimes it's like 118 is what it is. Intel, 105. Buy your MFDs for 105 if you can. Paper for 25K or less. Sometimes you can get lucky and get this down to like the 18Ks, which helps out quite a bit. Intel is doing the same thing, though, as Moonshine. It's getting cheaper progressively, so keep that in mind. Hopefully this loads pretty quick here. Don't sit on it. We're at the peak. It's probably going to start to tail off, and that's just how the wipes go. So as you craft it, sell it, and be done with it. In the laboratory, I don't know why that shows a... There we go. That was weird. Labs card to McAramid. These are with my skills on, right? So let's turn these off because it does change things around a little bit. Packets are pretty easy. I do not know why Aramids got so expensive. I mean, I know the barters and stuff like that, but I do not know why they're pushing these really high prices, 30, 35K. They do it on the resets with Ragman, so you can do that. And you can even do better than this because this is just buying it off of Ragman. But like, let's say you get your face mask thingies for like 8K a piece. You're talking 24K, and you push this into the 57 an hour range without skills. Like with my skills, now we're talking 100K an hour, which is pretty crazy if you want to go through the effort of that the mask barter. For me, I'm just doing scav vests and slings because it's easy. It's just easy. There's less steps. I don't mind it. Ripstop's kind of cheap. You can get better than 28, but 28 is where I put it. 9,500 on the scav vest is based off of doing the slickers craft and then turning the slickers into scav vests, which is ripstop. So that's what I've been doing. The slings, buying them off Ragman, and then selling the quarter for about 30K. Nets you about 25K an hour. Now bleach is kind of a weird one. It's a lot of work. That's why I don't like doing it anymore, but it can make you an absolute boatload of money. As you can see on the weekends, bleach still gets really high because of the barters. So if you're getting, let's say 17,000, which is even still on the low end, now you're talking about a pretty good craft. You just got to sit on bleach for a week. So you got to have you'll have a case full of it for till the weekend rolls around, and then you can do pretty good. Even better, obviously, with the higher flea market skills or higher hideout skills and stuff like that. But that's pretty much it. Long craft. I'm still doing grenade cases. And then if I occasionally get a Corund out of raid, I will craft a TV 110 just because it's a little bit cheaper. But that's entirely up to you on what you guys want to do with those. Med station. Now the mule craft is the best craft, but it requires you to have crisis, right? Right now we're talking 13.5 on meds, 15,000 on max energies, and then 15, 16 on morphines, and then like 22, 23, 24,000 on Zagustans. Selling your mules at 155, you're going to do all right. But again, you got to have crisis done to do this craft. After that is the pile of meds, good solid one. I've been stocking up on Augmentin. If I see it below 18, I just buy up a bunch of it, and then shoot for like 16 to 17 with the sale of pile of meds. That's the big one. Okay, thank you, kiddo. The Grizzlies have turned into a surprisingly good craft. Again, if you're getting your ALU splints, I'll get these off a fence from time to time. Maybe I'll get lucky and be able to show you that I can actually get them off a fence. Like, they're not here, but you can get them off fence time to time, or if you're using them because you don't use Grizzlies, then I'm going to the wrong screen here. That's when you use them. They're not really great. Like, if you're paying market price for these, which is like 16,000, it really eats into the profit, so don't do that. But they are hitting 50,000 pretty regularly. As the day goes on, I think it's just an evening thing, and even pushes more than that if you want. When I do have them, I'm usually selling them around 49 or 50 just to get them out. Easy craft to do is propitols. These are going to get cheap again. I'm not sure exactly where they're going to go. They did get up into the 30s, but again, I think this was just part of the Halloween event. It went a little long and then all of a sudden it died off. I'm not entirely sure what happened here. But I was selling them for 27 the last 2 days, 27, 28, and you can get golden stars for 80K or less easy, and ibuprofen for 40K. And it's just an easy craft to flip around. SJ6s are all right, but they're a lot of work. If you have SJ1s you don't have found in raid, this is pretty much what you do with them. And then for your long craft, the defibs, they're getting a little bit harder to do. These prices are harder to find. Wires and caps are on crazy volatile spikes, but magnets for 16K, wires for 12, caps for 12, power banks for 18, and then shoot for like 189, 190 for your defibs. And that's just the long craft. That's the one you do overnight to get the most points out of it. I have been doing LEDX crafts, but that's because I have a bunch of little GPS things. I ended up with like 5 or 6 of them. So I'm doing those to craft the microcontroller boards, because I get 4 out of that craft, and then I'm turning them into LEDXs, and then I'm just selling them. And I've been able to get like 880, 890 the last couple of days of selling these things, which is nice. So even then you're getting a lot more bang for your buck on the sale, especially for me with my flea market fee reduction. So that's pretty much that for the med station nutrition unit. It's really just 2 crafts, vodka and whiskey. You can do okay with the coffee craft if you don't have anything else, if you're like level 2. But you just got to shoot for 15K or less on your blue gunpowder, and then 30K on your coffees, which they're doing this. They do the 30K spike on Ragman resets when people are getting their gazelles. That's what's eating up most of the coffee. Other than that, like I said, I do slickers, but that's because I just turn the slickers into scav vests. So it usually stay about 2,000 to 3,000 cheaper than the market doing this, which is why I do it. And since I can craft 2 things at once, that's kind of the mess. When it comes to vodka, it's still 39K. This hasn't changed. Just buy your moonshine, get your waters from Therapist. If you can get a little bit cheaper, great, or use them up, great. and then shoot for 39K, maybe 39.5 on selling your vodkas in big stacks. It's been working like clockwork. I'll wipe. And the same thing applies for whiskeys. But I do shoot for like 20K on my vodkas, which you can see them 20K or less, like sometimes 17, 18K. And it helps with the profit on this quite a bit. But 55K on whiskey is a little bit less consistent than 39K on vodka, but it still happens as long as you've got a big enough stack, just because people don't want to buy them one at a time. They'll spend a couple extra 20, 30,000 just to get the whiskey in one buy, which is where you make your money. Not really anything else. You can do the hot rod craft for the long craft. Just shoot for 16.5 on your hot rods, which can be kind of sketch sometimes. But these do burn through pretty quick on proper resets because people are using them for the BS barter. Kind of hoping this loads, but it's not for some reason. Like I said, Tarkov market's being funky. I don't know what's going on. So that's the long craft, is the hot rods. Water collector, pretty straightforward on the math. Makes a ton of money. Turn my stats on, makes even more money. Just kind of how it is. Now the workbench. The money here is redonkulous right now, especially as your skills get higher and higher. Here, okay, here's the hot rods, just so you guys can see. You can get over 16K. It's just not as consistent as some of this other stuff. Workbench, red gunpowder has come back to the lead, but just barely. But it's a good craft. Shoot for 15K again on your blues, 30K on your greens, 12K on your matches, and then shoot for 32K on your hawks, which you can do better than this. 32K seems to be the easy place, but I've seen 35, 36 sometimes on the weekends. You'll see it really run up. So we'll just have to wait and see if we get this slow, steady climb that we usually get with red and how far it goes. Green gunpowder at 30K is kind of tough, but you'll get lucky sometimes and get a bunch of it. This is going to continue to go up with red gunpowder. And we will get to an inflection point where green gunpowder is a good craft, better than others. It's not really right now. We'll just leave that up because you've just got so much better options, though it is an easy craft. Printed circuit boards are just insane right now. So 18K on the DVDs, that's your target, 25K on your printed circuit boards. And that even makes sense with doing the gas analyzer. If you can get your gas analyzers at 16K, they're just making a ton of money. Vogs are all right. They're just a little more complex of a craft. That's why I don't like them. But you can make really good money with them. It's also a little bit longer, just 14K on your fuses, your dynamite, your TP200s for 22,000, and then shoot for 26 on your Vogs, which can be a stretch. Sometimes it just kind of depends on where they're sitting on the market, and how much money people are burning through to get these things. So 26 is the price I put in there, but you might very well be able to do better. Wires has been nuts, especially if you can get your power cords under like 20K, which is possible. Wires are on this crazy volatile period right now where they'll go up to like 18K, but then they'll come all the way back down to like 10K. I'll wait for that to load. So I put 24K on your power cord, 16K. It's netting you right around 37K, which is pretty good. But simply put, if you get, like, let's say you get down to 20K on your power cords, you'll see how much of an impact this is going to have. Or if you push 18K on your wires, if you go to the far extreme, you're pushing one of the best crafts in there, and it's wires. So if you're looking for something easy, that's it. The green gunpowder, like I said, you're getting your stuff from Peacekeeper, selling for 35K, which can be tough. We've seen it push 37, 38, even 40K. I just don't know if it's going to keep doing that. This little spike in here was kind of weird. So keep an eye on that if you want to do it. It is a super easy craft. It's great for making dollars instead of buying them, because you spend dollars to make dollars, so that you sell these for dollars in the flea, the green gunpowders, and it works out pretty good. And as you can see, once you start getting to like 40K, 45K, which I think we'll see later, the green gunpowders can be well worth your while. Now for big long crafts, APM is great as long as you're getting your SP6 out of raid. That's what this price is. If you're buying it, it takes a pretty good bite out of your profit, because it's so expensive off of proper. Put that back in there. And aside from that is also, like I said, the microboards if you want to do these, but that's a pretty limited craft. The other good price craft is just wires. For big ticket item, if you want a lot of money out of a single craft, it's longer, but it's still 95K per cycle. And that's pretty much it. That's everything in the hideout. I'll keep an eye on this stuff going forward for the next week. We'll see if there's any big changes. I think we're just going to start seeing those gradual, steady climbs in fabrics and gunpowders, the decreases in things like moonshine and intel, and stims are probably going to stay where they're at, maybe a little bit of increase. So we'll wrap her up there. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for support. Thank you for your patience. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you.